Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's chapter is chapter 11, Nature's Treasures of Class 6. Let's discuss about what do you mean by nature's treasures. So nature's treasures means here the beautiful and the valuable things that nature gives us such as plants, animals, water, air, sunlight, soil, forest and minerals. These are the precious gifts that help all living beings survive. So this is the meaning of the nature's treasures. You can define like that. So things that we get free from the nature that help us to survive. That is all about nature's treasures. So let's discuss this chapter and we will discuss each and every definition from here. So let's start to read the first paragraph. School vacation are always fun for Bhumi and Surya. So school vacation are always fun for Bhumi and Surya. So our vacations are also fun. We love to enjoy in the vacation. That's why all children like vacations. We do always enjoy same as Bhumi and Surya. This vacation they visit their Ajji's grandmother. So this vacation they went for their Ajji's means grandmother's house. We also go to our grandmother's house in the vacations. So Ajji lives in a village on the edge of a forest in a Western Ghat. So Ajji's house in the edge of the forest in the Western Ghat. Here the Western Ghat means the state stretching from the Gujarat to the Tamil Nadu. Or edges means here the where the land touch to the water means sea. In between there is a forest in the coastal area. So Ajji's house means grandmother's Bhumi and Surya's grandmother's house is at the edge of the forest in the Western Ghat. The air in the village is fresh and cooler. So air quality is also good there because there usually not we usually don't found the factories and the production houses in the villages area. They are mostly found in the cities area. So that's why the quality of the air is also good there, cooler than in the city. They can see beautiful hills, streams, and many interesting plants, animals, and birds around them. Then they reach there, they get the opportunity to see beautiful hills, streams, and many interesting plants, animals, and birds around them. One afternoon, Bhumi and Surya asked Ajji to tell them more about the place. एक दिन भूमि और सूर्य बोले ग्रैंड माँ को कि इस प्लेस के बारे में हमें और बताइए. Ajji says children do not know that this place has a several treasures of a nature. अज्जी जो है ग्रैंड मदर है वो बोले कि ये प्लेस में के अगल बगल सराउंडिंग बहुत से सेवरल ट्रेजर्स है, मतलब बहुत सारे ट्रेजर्स है ऑफ अ नेचर डेट इनरिच आवर लाइफ्स, जो हम लोग के लाइफ को क्या करते हैं कंफर्टेबल बनाते हैं, इंप्रूव करते हैं. The pure air is a refreshing. So pure air is also a treasure, nature's treasures. Because when we breathe a good quality air, the lifespan of our birth is also increased. So this is also a treasure. And the soil is so fertile that it support a variety of a living beings. So the land is also very fertile. Fertile means air from where the quality of a soil is good for plantation. So if the soil quality of soil is good, the foods we get is also healthier. So this is also a treasure. Moreover, this place gets plenty of sunlight, which is useful in many ways. So that we usually know there are not a very tall building found in the villages. That's why the the sunlight that get is very plenty, that is very good for the soil. Different varieties of trees provide food and shelter animals including various birds and insects. So there are the lots of trees also present in the villages, so that is also a home of the birds. They provide a shelter to their animals. Can you think of more such treasures of a nature? So we have to think or different nature's treasures. So wind first we have read about, हम लोग डिस्कस किए पहले wind के बारे में. Then the quality of the soil is also a treasures. So we have to also think about the different kind of or different treasures of a nature in this. Bhumi replies, Aji, we use water for drinking and growing vegetables. अजी सेड यस. सो अजी जो भूमि जो है वो रिप्लाई की अजी को कि हम लोग वाटर क्या करते हैं, ड्रिंक करने के लिए और वेजिटेबल ग्रोइंग करने के लिए ग्रो करते हैं. पूछी उसे तो अजी बोली मीन्स ग्रैंड मदर बोली यस वी नीड दिस ट्रेजर्स for our survival and for making our food lives more comfortable. So हम लोगों को वाटर चाहिए क्यों? हम लोगों को सर्वाइवल के लिए, और हम लोग अपने प्लांट्स को क्या कर सकें, प्लांटेशन कर सकें और वाटरिंग कर सकें. सो वी नीड ऑल्सो दैट मेक आवर लाइफ मोर comfortable. Without these treasures of a nature, any form of life on earth is not possible. So because of the water, this is also a treasures of nature. So because without water nobody will able to survive, a life is not possible on the earth. We all are a part of nature. Ajay explained the importance of air around us and how it is essential for our survival. So Ajay explained, the grandmothers explained the importance of air and how it is essential. Essential means the important, how it is important for our survival. Let us find out more about the air. So we are going to discuss about the air. What is the benefit of the good quality of air? One morning, Bhumi and Surya see Aji performing some breathing exercise. So one morning they saw Aji, means grandmother, to perform a breathing exercise. Aji asks them to join her. So grandmother says that come and join with her. She says, I am taking deep breath in and letting them out. So grandmother's taking deep breath and letting them out. This help in getting more fresh air in the lungs to stay healthy. So breathing in and breathing out, the benefit of that is that activities helps to getting more fresh air in their lungs and stay healthy. Bhumi and Surya sit with Aji and start talking or start taking deep breath. So they started also taking deep breath. Let us also perform a breathing exercise. So we have to also do the breathing exercise is given a. So first take a deep breath in and then breathe out slowly. So we have to take a deep breath, then we have to let it go, means breathe out slowly. Take a deeper breath in again. So we have to repeat it the same activity again. Hold your breath for as long as you can and then breathe out slowly. So we have to hold our breath or as long as we can. How long can you hold your breath? So you have to also check how many minutes or a second you can hold your breath. How do you feel when you hold your breath? So how do you feel when you hold your breath? So when we hold for a long time, you must have observed that we start feeling uncomfortable. Yes or no? So let's go towards the next paragraph. So here caution, a warning is given here. Do not hold your breathe for so long that you start feeling uncomfortable. So while doing this activity you also have to pay attention that you don't have to hold your breath as long as that you start feeling uncomfortable. So you have to pay attention also. While doing it you have to also focus on your breath. Other, if you start feeling uncomfortable, so stop that activity. From this activity, we find that it is difficult to hold our breath for a long time. So you have also observed while doing this activity, after some minute, we start feeling uncomfortable. So this is very difficult to hold for a long time. The air which we breathe in has oxygen. So as we know that air is a mixture of gases. So the air we breathe in has oxygen. So air हम लोग breathe करते हैं उसमें क्या होता है oxygen. Our body needs oxygen to perform its functions. So our body needs only oxygen. So that's why in air body uses only oxygen gas. When we hold our breath for a long time, the body does not get enough oxygen to perform its function. So when we hold our breath, so body will not get a sufficient oxygen, so this may stop functioning. Thus we need oxygen for our survival. So हम लोग क्या चाहिए, ऑक्सीजन चाहिए सर्वाइव करने के लिए. Similarly, most of living beings also need oxygen for their survival. So lots of animals, or most of the animals needs oxygen to survive. So we can survive without food or water for a few days. So हम लोग without food और water का हम लोग few days तो survive कर ही सकते हैं. But we cannot survive without oxygen for even a few minutes. So हम लोग without oxygen क्या करते हैं, few minutes भी survive नहीं कर सक पाएंगे. तो air which surrounded the earth is a mixture of gases. So air जो surrounded है earth का वो क्या है, mixture of gases है. So can you name some gases which are present in the air? So you have to name the some gases which are present in the air. Air contains nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases in a small quantity. So these are the majorly percentage of gases that are found in the air. 11.1, there is a figure you have to also see there, if you have opened the book, gives the composition of air in percentage. So there is in figure given the percentage of air. Notice that in figure 11 point there are the 100 square Out of 100 square, the 70 are occupied by nitrogen, 21 are occupied by oxygen, 1 by argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases. So these are the, so percentage is the number part in 100. So we know that the percentage means 100. We compared with 100. It is denoted by the symbol percentage. This is the symbol of percentage. You have also seen the in your math book. So this is the percentage of a oxygen, the red color. Nitrogen, the so the denoted the percentage of a nitrogen in the air. And this is in 1%. There are this kind. These are the gases are found and contained in the air: argon, carbon dioxide, and the other gases. So which, so nitrogen is found in the large percentage in the air, so 78%, so 21% oxygen, and in 1% there are argon, carbon dioxide, and other gases. So you notice that the percentage of air when the levels of trees rustle. So you notice the presence of air when the leaves of a tree rustle. So you have also noticed and observed also the presence of air when the leaves of trees rustles. जो trees का जो tree leaves होता है वो rustle करता है जब वो move करता है slowly. So what do you mean by rustles? When make a sound like a dry leaves. जब आप dry leaf का sound सुनते हैं, so आप presence air का presence को observe कर पाते हैं. The clothes hanging on the क्लोथ्स लाइन स्वे, जो क्लोथ लाइन जो हैंग हुआ रहता है क्लोथ लाइन में, वो क्या करता है, स्वे करता है, मूव करता है स्लोली. तो यू कैन ऑल्सो फील द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एयर. द पेजेस ऑफ एन ओपन बुक बिगेन फ्लटर. जो पेज होता है बुक का, कॉपी का, वो फ्लटर करने लगे, मूव करने लगे स्लोली. तो वन फैन स्विच ऑन, जब वो मूव करने लगता है, जो फैन ऑन होता है. मूविंग एयर इज कॉल्ड विंड. जो मूविंग एयर होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड विंड. सो यू हैव टू ऑल्सो रिमेंबर दैट. What do you mean by wind? So moving air is called wind. Sometimes it blows faster. For example, during a storm, sometimes it blows gently as a breeze. So कभी जो एयर होता है वो बहुत ही, ब्लोइंग एयर फर्स्ट में क्या होता है, वो विंड होता है, बहुत तेज़ी से वो ब्लो करने लगे तो वो स्टॉर्म बोलते हैं हम उसको. सो कभी कभी क्या होता है, जो एयर होता है वो बहुत जेंटली ब्लो ब्लो करता है, बहुत ही आराम से, तो उसे हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, ब्रीज करते हैं. यू हैव यू मस्ट हैव प्लेड विद अ फिरकी. तो आप फिरकी से खेले होंगे. पेपर, दिस इज अ पेपर पिन व्हील्स if you have ever made many times. Let us make a firki by performing activity 11.2. There is given the 11.2 activities how to make a firki. So first you have to take a square paper of 15 meter and 50 centimeter, means a rectangular shape. The side must be equal length and breadth. So you have to take a measurement of a rectangular shape paper. Follow the instructions shows in 11.2 make a firki. So here is given there step by step how to make a firki. Now you can hold the firki in your hand and run. So when after making it, you have to hold your firki in your hand and start to run. You can also blow air on it. So you can blow instead of running. You can also blow air on it. What do you observe? So आपको क्या वैसा observe किया आप? Does the firki rotate? तो firki rotate किया तो yes. Just when we blow or when we blow air towards firki, or when we start running to hold firki in our hand, it must be rotate. When you move it a little back, the fourth, जब हम आगे और पीछे मूव करते हैं तो फिरकी रोटेट, तो फिरकी क्या करेगा, रोटेट करेगा. व्हाट मेक्स अ फिरकी रोटेट? सो फिरकी को रोटेट क्यों होता है वो? इट इज़ अ विंड दैट मेक्स अ फिरकी रोटेट. तो क्या होता है, विंड होता है जो फिरकी को क्या करता है, रोटेट करता है. द वर्किंग ऑफ अ विंड मिल इज ए स्मॉलर टू दैट ऑफ अ फिरकी. जो विंड मिल होता है क्या, वही फिरकी का ही स्मॉल, विंड मिल का स्मॉलर वर्जन क्या है, फिरकी है. विंड रोटेट्स द विंग्स ऑफ अ विंड मिल. जो विंड मिल का जो विंग्स होता है वो कौन रोटेट करता है, विंड रोटेट करवाता है. विंड मिल्स कैन बी यूज टू रन फ्लोर मिल्स. तो हम लोग विंड मिल्स का किस लिए यूज़ पर्पज से यूज़ कर सकते हैं. सो विंड मिल्स हम लोग फ्लोर मिल्स के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं. टू पुल अप वाटर फ्रॉम द वेल, हम लोग वाटर पुल करने के लिए वेल से यूज़ कर सकते हैं. और टू जनरेट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करने के लिए हम लोग यूज़ कर सकते हैं. So what are the function of the windmill? So there is written here lots of function, or we can use to utilize our work. For example, mm, floor mills to pull up water from well to generate electricity. These are the function of a windmill. In India, there are the many windmill farms. So there are lots of, means there are many windmill farms found in the India. A windmill farms is an area that has a large number of windmill which use the energy of the wind to generate electricity. So what do you mean by windmill farm? So this is basically a large number of a windmill when there is a found, that is a basically called a windmill farm. So windmill farm we use to basically to generate electricity. This is a windmill farm is given a picture. So Mopandal or Mopandal wind farm in Tamil Nadu. So Mopandal wind farm is found in Tamil Nadu. It's located in Tamil Nadu. Jaisalmer Wind Park in Rajasthan. So Jaisalmer Wind Park are located in Rajasthan. Then after Brahma ब्रह्मनवेल विंड फार्म इन महाराष्ट्र जो ब्रह्मनवेल विंड फार्म क्या पे लोकेटेड वो महाराष्ट्र में दे आर सम ऑफ द लीडिंग विंड मिल फार्म इन आवर कंट्री so they are most famous windmill farm in our country. Find out more other windmill farm in our country, so you have to also search in the Google the name of a windmill farm are located in India and write down. So we have learned that the air is very important for us. So we have already discussed that the air is very important because we're not able to survive for a few minutes even. So we need air. Water too is essential and precious for us. So water is also a precious and important for us. How do you feel when you cannot get water to drink, especially when you are thirsty? So आपको कैसा फील होता है जब आप thirsty होते हैं, प्यासे होते हैं, आपको वाटर ना मिले? Let us find out more about water. So we have to discuss a lot of or more about water. Let's discuss. So Rumi and Surya help Ajji in filling through of water, trough of water. So Bhumi and Surya क्या कर रहे थे? अज्जी को हेल्प कर रहे थे फिलिंग में किसको? ट्रफ ऑफ वाटर को. ट्रफ मीन्स अ शैलो कंटेनर, तो उसको फिल कर रहे थे और वाटर फॉर अ काउ. सो किस जो ट्रफ था, जो शैलो कंटेनर था, वो किसके लिए था? काउ का लिए था. तो उसको क्या कर रहे थे? वो लोग फिल कर रहे थे. दे ऑल्सो हेल्प इन वाटरिंग प्लांट सच एज वेजिटेबल्स एंड मेडिसिनल और मेडिसिनल हर्ब्स इन द गार्डन. सो मेडिसिनल जितना भी हर्ब्स था उसको क्या कर रहे थे? वो लोग वाटरिंग कर रहे थे. अजय टीचर्स देम हाउ टू वाटर देयर प्लांट्स सो दैट एवरी ड्राई ड्रॉप्स इज यूज्ड. सो एवरी ड्रॉप्स इज यूज्ड. सो अज्जी वो हेल्प उन लोगों को टीच कर रही थी कि कैसे हम लोग अच्छे से वाटरिंग करें जिससे जो एवरी ड्रॉप हो उसका यूटिलाइजेशन हो. नन ऑफ इट गोज वेस्ट. सो एक भी ड्रॉप क्या हो? वेस्ट ना हो. कैन यू थिंक ऑफ सम मोर यूजेज ऑफ वाटर इन आवर डेली लाइफ? सो यू हैव टू मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ uses of water in your daily life. Write down your response in the blank bubbles. There is given there blank bubble. You have to write down the uses of water. We need water for drinking, so we need water for drinking as same as you have to write down here. So what we can use it? So we need water for cooking also, so you can write down here. We need water for cooking. We need water for many daily activities such as drinking, so we need water for drinking. Cooking, we need water for cooking also. Bathing, we need water to bathing also. Washing, we need water to wash our clothes also. Cleaning also. So it is also used for growing crops. Water is also essential for growing crops and for industrial purpose. So in industrial purpose, we use water. Where do we get water from? So from, so you have to also think about the sources of water from where we get. Make a list of a different sources of water. So you have to make a write down the list of a different sources of water. Water covers about two-third of the earth surface. So total surface है उसका two-third part क्या है? Water है. Most of the water is found in the ocean and seas. So most percentage of water कहाँ पे? Ocean में और sea में. However, this water is saline and salty. So this water is basically what? Salty. This saline water is not fit for domestic and agriculture or industrial use. So because of the saline water, we're not able to drink because this is not fit for humans and a domestic work also. We cannot use it to wash anything. Agriculture and industrial use. For all these activities, we need fresh water, which is present in the form of ice sheet or a snow, river or lakes on the surface of the earth. So fresh water is basically found in the form of ice sheet and snow river in the lake or a surface of a earth and underground. Fresh water is present in the ice sheet. So fresh water basically present in the ice sheet, underground water, streams, then river, and snow. Underground water is difficult to access, so this is very difficult to access or to reach to the underground water because the water level is also varies from a place to place. So this is also very difficult or hard to get water from the underwater or underground. A very small fractions of fresh water present in pond, so pond, rivers and lakes and walls is easily accessible. A very small fraction of fresh water present in pond, rivers, lakes and wells is easily accessible. So very less percentage of water जो है वो pond, river, well में है जो क्या हो easily accessible है. Water is precious. Water क्या है? Very important है, precious है, costly है. That is why Ajji guides them to use it with care. So that's why grandmothers told them to use it very carefully so that every drop of water can be utilized and not get wastage. Do you feel that water is being used efficiently in our daily activities? So you have to think that we are using the every drop of water carefully, or we are able to utilize Have you ever observed water being wasted in your daily activities? So have you ever seen a water being wasted in your surrounding or anywhere? Let us find out activities where water is wasted and how this water can be reduced. So how can we reduce the wasting of water? You have to mm, find out through activity 11.3. Let us find out. So here is written here, fill in the column 2 and column 3, 11.1 to column 2, column 3. Wastage of water in your daily activities. So here are the wastage of water. How can you, let's activity, how is water wasted? So how is water wasted? You have to write down here a suggest way to reduce the wastage of water. So you have to write down the waste also. How can we reduce? So hand washing. So how is wastage of water? So you have also, you have already seen, or you have must be lots of time observed that the after washing hand, people's let the tap on and let the water running. So this is also a cause of a water wasting. Suggest a way to reduce the wastage of water. So we have to write down a short note over the wall. So can close the or the stop the tap after what using the tap. So this kind of you can write down here. Washing clothes, you have to write down here. How can we waste water? Or you have seen wasting water while using or while washing clothes. You have to write down here one by one. Washing utensils, so you have to write down here. So what conclusion can you draw from information you gather in the table? So you have to write down the what conclusion. Have you observed anything? So you have to write down. What can you and your family to do reduce this wastage of water? So you have to write down the step that you were taking to reduce the wastage of water. These are many ways to reduce waste of water. For example, turning off taps when you not in the use and fixing water leakage. So when you are not using the tap, you should turn off the tap. Then you have to also fix the water leakage. So you have to also fix the pipe if there is the leakage of water. You have to also repair so that water can be saved. Recycle water. You have to also recycle the water if if the water is what if you able to reuse that water, that could be very good. And water harvesting also help in saving water. So in water harvesting is also very good to save water. Our country is blessed with the numerous rivers, streams and lakes. So there are lots of streams and numerous rivers are found. Lots of numerous rivers are also found in the India. Have you ever noticed plastic bags and wrappers floating on the surface of water? So I have also observed that the plastic of bags and the wrappers are floating on the surface of water. We pollute fresh water. So we usually what? We have you have also observed that lots of people start throwing garbage in the river. So that is also not good. We pollute the fresh water. The source by throwing trash. So sources by throwing trash means trash means the waste materials in them. Waste from homes and industry pollute our water sources when it is dumping into them. So how our water get polluted? Because of the we usually throw home and industrial polluted things in our water. So then when it is dumped into them, so when it is dumped into them, when we the dump when we get try to get rid of something that are not in use, so that is called dumping. Identify other human activities that lead to water pollution. So you have to write down the human activities that you have if you have ever observed in our surrounding. What are the activities that people are performing that may influence the water pollution? Discuss with your friends in the class what do you or what can do to reduce water pollution. So you have to also discuss to your friends that what are the way could be to reduce the water pollution. Polluted water is not fit for consumption by living beings. So polluted water is not good for health or also to use. So these are the not good for living beings. So we have to also always use a fresh water, clean water. As freshwater sources are limited, so freshwater we have already observed that the freshwater sources are limited. Very less percentage of water are found in the river, streams, and underground water. This is shortage of water in many part of India. So shortage of water are very what we can say that also essential topic in India. A very in very areas of India, peoples are suffering from or facing a shortage of water. At some places, people have to walk long distance to fetch drinking water. In search of water, the people have to walk for a long distance to get fresh water so that they can drink. Everyone does not have the same kind of access to water. It is important for us to conserve water and use judiciously. Judiciously means what do you mean by judiciously? Judiciously means intelligently, wisdomly. So we have to very carefully use the water and conserve water. Conserve water means to prevent water to waste. That is called conserve. We must also prevent it from being polluted so that the water remains fit for consumption by all living beings. In what ways can you conserve water? So you have to write down the ways you can conserve water to apply in the land. Water harvesting is one of the method for conserving water. So water harvesting is one of the method to conserve water. So what do you mean by conserve? Conserve means to avoid wasting something. That is called conserving water. In many buildings, rainwater is collected and stored in a large quantities for later use. So in a many buildings, you have also observed that there is a mechanism to store water so that they can use it later. This is called rainwater harvesting. So this process is called a rainwater harvesting. Do you know that the rainwater is also harvested in many homes? So, residential societies or schools. It is an age-old practice in India. So, rainwater harvesting is also, you have also observed, they you store water so that they can harvest it later to use that water. For example, step wells 11.4b, commonly known as a Bawadi in Rajasthan. So, step well is known as Bawadi in the Rajasthan. This is the picture. Wow in Gujarat are built of water harvesting as a response to the scarcity of water in this region. Then the shortage of water, they build this to what store water. They store not only rainwater but also water seeping from a nearby lakes, ponds, and rivers. So if there is a flow of water in lakes and the ponds, not only they only store rainwater but also water that are sweeping nearby lakes, ponds, and rivers. The walls of the trenches. Trenches means a long deep hole dug in the ground. So they dug the hole in the ground are lined with the blocks of stones that allow seepage of water. Find traditional water harvesting practice in your locality. Discuss with your teachers and parents to learn more about it. So you have to also discuss a rainwater harvesting method to your teacher and your parents. Here is about it. Means Turiji ka Jalra Jo, that is found in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. So do you know World Water Day is observed on 22nd March every year. So we celebrate World Water Day on 22nd March every year. Find out its importance. So why do we celebrate? What is the importance of to celebrate World Water Day? You have to also discuss. In the chapter A Journey Through State of Water, we have learned about the water cycle. So in chapter State of Water, we have discussed the water cycle where the sun plays an important role in evaporation of water. In water cycle, the most important roles that play is sun. Have you ever observed your mother or grandmother cut raw mangoes and expose them to hot sun for several days to dry? Let us explore more about energy from the sun. So have you ever observed your grandmother or mother pluck mangoes from the tree and keep it under the sun so that they can dry to make pickle? You must have observed energy from the sun. On sunny day, Bhumi and Surya are helping Aji dry chilies in the sun. So they are helping Aji, means grandmother, to dry chilies in the sun. Aji says we use the heat from the sun to dry it. So grandmother says that we are using the heat of the sun to dry the chili. We can use dried chili when the fresh one are not available. So there are the lots of time the fresh chilies are not available. All that time they are using dried chilies. I will give you some to take home. Do you know that the sun is main source of energy on the earth? All parts and animals are dependent on it. So we know that the sun is an important source of energy on the earth because all the animals are dependent on it. We use heat, light from the sun for various purposes. So we use the heat of light of the sun is to various purpose. We what are the some of the activities for which we need heat and light? So what are the activities while doing we need heat of sun? Bhumi draws some picture to show the uses of heat and light from the sun. So Bhumi basically drew some picture so that they need on that time sun to do that activity. Help her by adding more examples. Draw the pictures and write their description in the space provided. So you have to also draw a picture and write down the description. So there is written there mm, what photosynthesis they are doing in presence of sun. You're drying clothes, so you can here draw solar panel to generate electricity. You can draw here to electricity generated. You can also write down here. You can also write down here to uh, solar cooking. You can make a solar cooking stove so that they can use in cooking, and what they can use to use sun. So there are the lots of things you have to search and write down here. One afternoon, Bhumi and Surya pass by the field near Aji's house. So where they see cow grazing the grass. So they have observed that the grass is grazing the grass. They talk about the sun being the main source of energy. Read the conversation carefully and answer. So look at this cow. It is grazing the grass and getting energy from it. So this girl says that the cow is getting energy from the grass. No, I think this cow is getting energy from the sun. So boy said that the cow is getting energy from the sun. The cow is standing in the sun, but it does not means that it is getting energy from the sun. The girl says that the cow is basically standing in the sun, but it does not mean that it is getting energy from the sun. So boy says the cow is eating grass. Grass leaves need sunlight to grow. So the main source of the energy is the sun. This way, the cow gets energy from the sun. Basically, cow is not directly getting energy from the sun, but the cow eats grass and grass grows in presence of the sun. So this is the main source. The main source of the energy is what? Sun. So according to you, whose statement is correct and why? So whose statement is correct? So boy's statement is correct because in the presence of the sun, the grass grows because of the photosynthesis. The sunlight helps plant prepare food. The sun also provides all the living beings on the earth with heat and light. It is their main source of energy. The main source of the energy is sun. In many households in India, water is offered to the sun early in the morning as an expression of gratitude to the sun. So that's why in the many households and Indian households, you have always observed that the parents or our grandparents always offered water to the sun to express gratitude. So, have you seen solar panel on the rooftops, on the top of the street light or on the traffic light? So, have you ever observed a solar panel in the rooftops or a street light or a traffic signals? The solar panels capture the sun energy and produce electricity. Energy from the sun can also be directly used for cooking in the solar cooker or for heating water in the solar water heater. So what will happen if the sun is not visible for a few days? We may have depend on a artificial lighting during the daytime also. So we have to face a what deficiency or a lack of what lightning issue. So we need water. So we have to write down the two issue also that we have to face when the water when the sun is not appear for a few days. One cannot imagine life on early Earth without the sun. So we cannot even imagine that the life is what we can survive without sun. The sun is the main source of energy on the earth. Plants get energy from the sun and they produce food. Animals eat plants and grows. We get food from both plants and animals. This cycle on the earth is possible due to the sun. So we all are depends on the sun as the main source of energy. Where do we find a large variety of plants or animals? Let us explore. So we find a large variety of found lots of variety of founds अलग अलग तरह के plants हम लोग को क्या होता है मिलता है on the earth में forest. Now we are going to discuss about the forest. One morning, Ajit takes Bhumi and Surya for a walk in the forest. So they all together went for a walk in the forest. They find a variety of herbs, shrubs, and trees in a forest. So they found a variety of trees, herbs, shrubs in the forest. Ajji explained. Forest has a large area with a dense growth of various type of plants. So plants क्या होता है बहुत सारे different plants होता है forest में अज्जी बोली. On the way, they collect some नीलाकाई. नीलाकाई means Canada term of Indian gooseberries. So gooseberry को कनाडा में क्या बोलते हैं नीलिकाई. That have fallen on the ground. जो क्या होता है गिरा हुआ था ground में. Aditi tells them, we have a tradition in our village not to pluck fruits from the trees. So हम लोग ग्राउंड अजी बोली कि हम लोग ग्राउंड क्या बोलते हैं विलेज में ऐसा ट्रेडिशन है कि कोई भी क्या करेगा फ्रूट्स को प्लक नहीं करेगा ट्रीज से तोड़ेगा नहीं बिकॉज दे आर लेयर फॉर एनिमल्स एंड बर्ड्स टू इट. सो वो क्या किसके लिए छोड़ा जाता है बर्ड्स और एनिमल्स के लिए ताकि वो खा सके. लेट्स मूव टू अनदर पैराग्राफ. So, discuss with your friends and make a list of at least five products that we get from a forest. You have to write down the list of things that we get from the forest. Forests are the natural home of many wild animals. So, natural homes होता है wild animals का because wild animals live there, including the birds, insects और birds और insect का भी क्या होता है natural home जो होता है वो forest ही होता है. Forest provides food and shelter to them. Forest क्या provide करता है उन लोगों को shelter. Shelter means where they can stay for a time. In nature, every animals depend on the other life form for survival. So every animals depend to the another. Lion depends on deer. Deer depends on what? Grass. So that's why all the animals in the forest are depend one to another. The diversity of a life form ensure food for every living being. So different kind of or different types of animals found or exist together. So what is the benefit of diversity in the forest? That ensure food for every living beings. However, over a year, the forest cover has been decreased. तो forest का cover क्या हुआ? Decreased हुआ है, कम हुआ है. Mainly due to human activities like a large scale of cutting of trees. So because of the human activities, because human activities क्या है? Large scale में trees को क्या किए? Cutting किए हैं. It takes a many years to grow a new forest. तो ये फॉरेस्ट को क्या होता है ग्रो करने में बहुत सा समय लगता है. रिस्टोर लॉस्ट फॉरेस्ट रिस्टोर करने में जैसे फिर से ग्रो करने में बहुत सा समय लगता है. देयरफॉर वी मस्ट प्रिजर्व एंड यूज़ फॉरेस्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबली. इसलिए हम लोग क्या करें उसे प्रिजर्व करना चाहिए, उसे बचाना चाहिए और उसको उस फॉरेस्ट को बचाने का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना चाहिए सो दैट दे कैन गेट इनफ टाइम टू रीजनरेट. उसको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उसका केयर करना चाहिए ताकि वो क्या करें रीग्रो होने में और रीजनरेट होने में अपना पूरा टाइम ले सकें. One Mahotsav is a week long event celebrated across the country during the month. So One Mahotsav क्या है? One Mahotsav week ये कंट्री को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, फॉरेस्ट को पूरा कंट्री सेलिब्रेट करता है फॉरेस्ट को सेव करने के लिए. इट इज़ अ फॉरेस्ट फेस्टिवल. ये क्या है? फॉरेस्ट फेस्टिवल है. ड्यूरिंग विच अ न्यू प्लांट्स एंड ट्रीज आर प्लांटेड. सो वन महोत्सव के ड्यूरिंग वाइल्ड समय हम लोग न्यू प्लांट्स को क्या करते हैं प्लांट करते हैं. एंड द अवेयरनेस अबाउट द रिस्पेक्टिंग फॉरेस्ट इज रेज्ड. और फॉरेस्ट को क्या करते हैं रिस्पेक्टिंग फॉरेस्ट मीन्स कंजर्व फॉरेस्ट करने के लिए क्या करते हैं अवेयरनेस फैलाते हैं. द एम ऑफ द इवेंट्स इज टू इंक्रीज द ग्रीन कवर. सो ये अवेयरनेस फैलाते हैं कि ग्रीन कवर होता है जो प्लांट्स का हम लोग प्लांट कर ट्री को प्लांट्स करके उसको क्या करें इंक्रीज करेंगे. यू टू कैन प्लान अ वन महोत्सव इन योर कम्युनिटी. आप भी क्या कर सकते हैं वन महोत्सव कम्युनिटी में प्लान कर सकते हैं. व्हाट आर द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज ऑफ कटिंग अ लार्ज फॉरेस्ट एरिया. तो क्या हो सकता है रिजल्ट लार्ज एरिया को कट करने के लिए. ये हम लोग का वाटर साइकिल में डिस्ट्रप्शन आ सकता है. Make a presentation or do a role play or write a story, a poem that shows what could happen if we continue cutting down the trees in our forest.